Hey, Stuart here. Today I want to talk about why diets stop working. Because if there's one thing that I deal with almost every single day with my clients is this concept that, I used to be able to calorie restrict and lose lots of weight, but now it doesn't seem to matter what I do, I can't lose any weight. In fact, a lot of the time, my clients are hardly eating anything, but they're gaining weight. So I want to talk about why this happens and I guess effectively what to do about it, because it's a very frustrating situation to be in. If you do find yourself in that situation where you're really overweight, but you're unable to drop fat anymore using the methods that have worked for you in the past. So a lot of the time, this is someone who's tried lots of different calorie restriction approaches, whether it's a shake diet or mini meal plan or keto dieting even can fall into this bracket a little bit as well. But yeah, it's that concept of calorie restriction that actually facilitates this position that you're in. If you're in a situation where your body stopped losing weight even though you're not eating very much at all, that points to one thing, which is that your metabolism's compromised. So how does your metabolism get compromised from eating very little food? Well, it's quite simple in a way. It's just how your body's designed. So you've always got to be thinking about this concept of feast and famine, because that's how your body works. So there's, I guess, a lot of things being written and spoken about fasting at the moment, and that's not what I'm talking about. In a way, I guess it still applies, but I want to talk to you about and get you to understand why calorie restriction needs to be looked at in terms of this feast and famine concept. Because what happens with calorie restriction is most people stay in calorie restriction for too long, and this is the problem. So a lot of people actually never really get out of the calorie restriction. So they end up, because they've tried so many diets over time or over the years, in this bid to have a better body, they end up with a less is more approach to their food. So they're constantly thinking about, how do I eat less? And if you do that long enough, or consistently enough, I guess, because the body works in consistency and patterns, it's whatever you do most consistently that dictates the outcome physically. Yeah, you end up with a situation where your body has down-regulated everything to accommodate the small amount of nutrient coming in. And that's essentially why calorie restriction diets stop working after about 5 or 6 weeks, because you can't keep taking food away, can you? I mean, there's only a certain point where, whether it's 600, 700 calories, that's barely eating any food at all. There's a ceiling, I guess, on how much food you can actually take away, and you can't just keep taking food away all the time. So if you stay on a calorie restriction diet long enough, that gives your body enough time to down-regulate everything to a point where it's become efficient at that lower calorie amount. And that's really why you want to avoid. You don't want to end up in that situation. Because if your body's adjusted to a really low calorie amount, you're in a very vulnerable situation in terms of being susceptible to things like yo-yo dieting and what happens when you have rapid weight gain after a diet. That's essentially what happens. Your metabolism's running really efficiently, or as efficiently as it possibly can, which means it slows everything down to accommodate the lack of nutrient coming in, and it's behaving as though it's in a famine. So that's how your body behaves when there's very little nutrient coming in. It doesn't know you're on a low calorie diet. All it thinks is that we're in the midst of a famine. So the body behaves like it would in a famine. What does it do? For most people that are not overly active, what it does is it starts to get rid of all our lean tissue, and it will hang on to body fat, which is the complete opposite of what you want. So this is sort of why calorie restriction should always be looked at as a very short-term approach. It's not a long-term solution, and unfortunately people don't just apply it over a short period of time, they apply it over a long period of time, and then they end up with this compromised metabolism. So if you are in that situation, there is a better solution out there. There's many better solutions out there than just calorie restriction. It is the only method you can employ for weight loss. It's a much better method to apply, but it involves, I guess, you understanding your body a little bit better. It's more about eating in the right pattern of meals for your particular body type, your genetics, because I think that's really the missing link I see with most people, is they just don't understand what their body does better on. It's not just a matter of looking at food in terms of calories. So anyway, if you're in that situation, I would urge you, definitely there's a better solution. So that's really what I specialize in. I help people that are in that situation where they're stuck, calorie restrictions, stop working, they're not really sure what to do. But there is a solution for that that's quite easy to implement, but you just need to understand the concept, and a lot of it is to do, as I said, around what is that pattern of meals that your body does best on, because once you understand that, then it's just about executing on that more consistently over time. So anyway, hopefully that helps. If you are in a situation where you're struggling to lose weight on a low calorie restriction plan, whatever it looks like, whether it's a shake diet or a mini meal plan or whatever it is, that's really the reason. That's why you're stuck, your metabolism's compromised. So hopefully that was helpful, and I will see you on the next video.